All right, so very good evening to all of you. Welcome to today's session, today's webinar, which is about a new feature we have added to our demand and supply arsenal. So let's get started. So today, everyone knows is Saturday, 26th of March, 2022. And today we will be talking about our latest innovation. Now, this is something which a lot of you have been asking for quite a while. And the fact is, we created this tool about, I guess it's been over 2 months now. Now, I wanted to launch it with a very different approach, but due to the technical challenges which we have with TradingView, we were not able to launch it the way we wanted. But being a very powerful tool, I didn't wanted you people to mess on it. So we found an alternative that, let's find an alternative way of how I can provide you that tool unless and until we launch it publicly the way we want it to work. So let's talk about what this tool is all about. See, the first thing is I'm pretty sure all of you are aware of alerts. Now, just a quick uh, recap or quick introduction to what alerts are. So everyone knows alerts is basically a scanner which we designed long back. I guess it's been 2-3 years. And what this scanner basically does is, as in when some demand and supply zones are getting formed, it keeps updating you on which script, on which time frame do you have a formation of a demand area or a supply area. So what this alert was doing was it was giving you notification as in when the demand and supply zones are getting formed based on the lower time frame LTF, right? That is what it does. And we have been getting this request that can we have a tool which instead of the lower time frame helps us identify stocks where prices are coming into the higher time frame demand and supply areas, which means now instead of the lower time frame focusing on where the quality areas are forming, I want to know which stocks are getting into some quality demand zones or supply zones on my higher time frame, which basically implies I want to find the stocks which are almost at the best location, right? And that is where probably I want to plan my trade. So can we have a tool which is something like this, right? Which is helping me with the higher time frame and not with the lower time frame. And that is what this new tool is all about, which we called as the screener. Now, again, coming back to alerts, everyone, like I told you, understand what alerts are. It's a scanner based on formation of demand and supply areas. And we also have the demo channel, which is, if you want to join the demo channel, you can go to surjitkakkar.com/alerts. That is where the link to the demo channel is available. And all of you also understand that when it comes to alerts, we have 3 subscription options. We have 30 days, we have 60 days, and we have an annual subscription. Now, it doesn't matter whether you're going for the 30-day subscription or the 60-day subscription or the annual subscription. In all 3 cases, you also get complimentary access to the demand and supply zone indicator during your alert subscription period, which might be 30, 60 or annual. And specifically for POS and POS Plus members, what we have also done is that with the 60 days subscription, you also get a complimentary Q&A session, right? So this was something which was already available to you, that with the alerts, you get complimentary access to demand supply zone indicator during your alert subscription period, which can be 30, 60 or annual. And only with the 60-day subscription, you also get one complimentary Q&A session. Now, when we talk about this new screener, this screener will again be available if you have an active alert subscription, but it is available till when? So it's not that you have to subscribe for it separately as of now. As of now, it is complimentary for both POS and POS Plus members, as long as they have an active alert subscription, right? So we'll talk about it, but let's first understand what the screener is. So like I was saying that this screener is not based on the formation of demand and supply areas. This screener is based on the arrival or the retracement, right? And the retracement of the higher time frame demand zones or the retracement to the higher time frame supply zones. Now, the first thing is that this screener will only be helping you in identifying opportunities, which would be your DITs, WITs, and MITs, right? So we're not using it for HITs. And the reason for that is, again, like I was talking about just some time back, there are a lot of programmable limitations with the TradingView, and that is where it is almost impossible for us to run it on a smaller time frame. We can only run it on daily or above. So that is why we are giving you the list for the daily, the WIT and the MIT, daily, weekly, and monthly. So what this screener basically does that for your daily income trades, for your weekly income trades, and for your monthly income trades, it identifies where are the higher time frame demand areas and supply areas, right? So again, if I want to plan a weekly income trade, it is checking that on the weekly time frame on a list of stocks. Now, what is this list of stocks? If I'm talking about the stock market, it's the complete list which we have for the alerts, which is about 200 scripts. Similarly, if you talk about MCX, it's about 10 or 11. And similarly for Forex, I guess we have around 27 pairs. That is what our alerts is already looking at by default. So whatever the list of scripts the alert is looking at, it's the same list. But now what it is doing is, instead of looking at the lower time frame and giving you notification when demand and supply areas are getting formed, you get the list of stocks based on higher time frame demand zones and supply zones. And again, when I'm talking about these demand and supply areas, I'm basically talking about quality demand and supply areas. So only if it is a zone which has less than equal to 3 candles in the basing, only if it is a zone which has an explosive leg out, those kind of zones on the higher time frame. So even on higher time frame, we are focusing on giving you a list of scripts which is only for high quality demand zones, high quality supply zones. So once the screener is identifying for you, it is identifying based on two different approaches. One is a script where I am getting close to the demand area or I'm getting close to the supply area, which means that if I'm looking at this list, which is where prices are coming close to a demand zone or coming close to a supply zone, that zone will always be a fresh zone, right? That is why uh, we want to know that to which fresh zone am I getting close to. So again, when we are talking about filter based on the close means not closing inside of the zone. Close means the proximity to that demand area or the proximity to that supply area. So closeness to that demand zone or closeness to that supply zone. So that is one way. It will help you identify stocks where we are getting close to those higher time frame demand zones or higher time frame supply zones for all three purposes, which is DIT, WIT, MIT. And the second way it will help you is in identifying scripts where we have already tested or we are currently testing that higher time frame demand area or supply area, right? So you'll have two ways to filter it: scripts where I'm getting close to the higher time frame demand supply zones, and scripts where we have already tested the higher time frame demand zones or the supply zones. Now, when we talk about close, what do you mean by how much close? So here also we have different numbers. If you're talking about a DIT trade, right, a daily income trade, in a daily income trade, we have taken it as within 2% of the proximal line. So what do I mean by that? That let's say if I have a demand zone which is starting at 100, and if the low of that particular day, because I'm talking about a DIT, so if the low of the day is within 2%, right, 2% from 100 will be 102. So if the low is 102 or less than 102, which is going to be 2%, it will give you in that list. So similarly, when we talk about WIT, in WIT, we are taking the proximity as 3%. So the high or the low of that particular week has to be within 3% of the proximal line, be that demand, be that supply. And similarly for monthly, what we are doing is we are taking a proximity, which is 5%. So for daily, if the proximity is within 2%, for WIT within 3%, and for MIT within 5%. Now, next, like I was talking about the access. So like I already said that as a POS or POS Plus member, you get complimentary access to Screener with alert subscription. So if you're not subscribed for alerts, anyhow, you don't have access to the alerts, you don't have access to the demand and supply zone indicator. Similarly, you don't have access to the Screener. But if you're already using alerts, then with alerts by default, you get access to demand supply zone indicator, and you also get access to the screener. And this access will remain till 30th of June or your alert subscription period, whichever is first. So example, like I told you, we have 30 days, we have 60 days, and we have annual. So if you have a 30-day subscription, so your subscription is definitely getting expired before 30th June. So once your subscription expires, your access to this will expire. Yes, if you're renewing it, it will again continue. Similarly, if you have a 60-day subscription, then again, before 30th June, it will expire. But yes, if you renew, then again, it will continue till 30th June. Example, if you have an annual subscription. Now, as an annual subscription, even though your subscription will expire sometime in the future, but after 30th of June, you will not have access to the screener, but other two things will continue. Yes, we might extend this date eventually, because as of now, we don't know how soon, those challenges which we are facing with TradingView on the programming side, if they get taken care of, it might, we might launch, the way we wanted to launch it as an indicator. But yes, if those tools are still not available to us, we might increase your complimentary access, right? So that is something which we'll be deciding as we come close to 30th of June. But yes, as of now, you know for sure that if you have the alert subscription, then your alert subscription or 30th June, whatever is first, you'll have complimentary access to it. And this list, which we will be sharing with you, it will not get updated every day, because anyhow, we know that in a week, only one candle can form. And similarly, in a month, only one candle can form. Only for a DIT, almost every other day, we can have new candles. but it's a manual process. So that is why we don't want to do it every day. It's a pretty lengthy process. So this is why what we will be doing is we will be updating it only once a week, and that is going to be every Saturday by 2 p.m. Indian Standard Time. So now let me show you what this is all about. So the first thing is, how do I access it, right? So let's say if I already have a subscription for the alert. So how do I access it? So once you log into your account on our website, you will be able to see the members area tab. And under the members area tab, now you will see that you have this new option, which is called as screener. Now, once you click on screener, you will have for all three: NSE, MCX, Forex. Now, depending upon whatever you're subscribed for, if you're subscribed for NSE, you will only have access to the NSE. If you're subscribed for MCX, then you'll have access to the MCX. If you have a subscription for Forex, then you have access to the Forex. So what I'll do is I'll open all three of them just to show you as an example. Perfect. So can you see, this is where you'll get to know if it has been updated or not. So whenever we'll update it. So Saturday is today, which is 26th. So like I told you, every Saturday by 2 p.m. we will be updating it. So today it has been updated. So here what you can see is you can see that this is given, with some hashes and some MITs, DZ, close, and then you have some numbers or the name of the scripts. Now, why did we give it in this format? The reason we gave it in this format is so that people who have paid subscription of TradingView, because in the free subscription of TradingView, you cannot have your own watch list. But in the paid subscription, you can create your own watch list. So the way we have given it is it makes it very easy for you. All you have to do is just copy everything from here. Can you see? I just copied it. And all you do is, bring up a notepad, paste it on a notepad, save it. So example, I'll save it as NSE text file, nse.txt. So just save it. And once you have saved it, now what you can do is you can go to TradingView. Give me a second. Perfect. So you can go to TradingView again. I'll say that this can only be done in a paid account. You can import it, but if you don't have a paid account, at least you still know the name of the scripts from here, right? Like here you can see that DIT, which means daily demand zone, and we are getting close to it. Similarly, DIT means daily demand zone. We are getting close to it. DIT, daily supply zone, we are getting close to it, right? So that is where you will get to know the name of the scripts. Like here, it is RAIN, it is NAM India, APLL Limited, and APL Limited, and like you can see Cipla, IDFC, right? So you'll get to know the names from here. But yes, like I said, if you have the paid subscription for TradingView, right? You have a paid account on TradingView, then what you can do is you can come here, you can say import, and that list which we just saved, like example here, I saved it as NSE, I can import it. And now I have that complete list with me. And this is why we had those hashes in between, so that, we have it in a very systematic way listed for us. So what this is basically telling me that as an MIT trader, MIT means as a monthly income trader. Now, as a monthly income trader, what is my higher time frame? As a monthly income trader, my higher time frame will be the monthly chart. So if I go to the monthly chart, you will see that on M&M, we will be close to the monthly demand zone. So close means we are getting closer to it. So if I go to the, M&M, so you can see on M&M, we have a, just give me a second. I was apply the indicator again. Great. So I have just applied the indicator again. So you can see here that on the monthly, this month we were getting close to it, but we have already started getting a reaction. So like I was telling you, it is not based on where the current market price is. It is based on the low and the high. So because this month low has been within a 5% proximity of this proximal line, that is the reason you got this alert. Now, the fact is this would have happened sometime in the past in the month of March. So whichever date we would have reached that low, right? That is the date you would have got this in your list. So again, here you can see when I clicked on the M&M, it told me that on M&M we are getting close to a monthly demand area, and you can see this month we definitely got close to it. Similarly, if I look at AB Capital, here also it is getting close to monthly. So again, if I just change the time frame and bring it up, so again you can see here that this month we came pretty close to it. In fact, few months ago also we came pretty close to it. So if that is the time we had this tool with us, again, it would have given us the notification in these 2 months. But this month, again, can you see we came pretty close to it? That is why we have that notification. Similarly, if I look at ABB, you will see that here also we will be getting closer to the demand area, and that is what you can see. We're getting pretty close to it. So this is what it means as a monthly income trader. We are getting we have a demand zone and we're getting close to it. So again, as a monthly income trader, we have a supply zone and we're getting close to it. So here you will see, if I go to Colgate Palmolive, we will be getting close to some supply zone. So I don't know why it gives me this issue. So now you can see we are getting closer to the supply, and that is why we have that notification, because this high would be within 5% proximity of this proximal line. Similarly, if I go to SBI Life, here also you can see we this month we came pretty close. I mean, not pretty close, but yes, we came within that 5% proximity of the supply area. Now we have next is WIT. WIT means on the weekly time frame. So if I go to the weekly time frame, you will see on the weekly time frame on this is Lalpath Labs, we will be getting close to the demand zone. So can you see this week we were getting close to this demand zone, and that is why we have it in the list. IOC will be getting close to the weekly demand zone. You can see we have it in the list. Similarly, if I go to supply, so here you will see that I'll be getting close to supply, and that is why we have on our list. And you can see these demand and supply areas, even on the higher time frame, the quality demand and supply areas, right? Not just any demand zone or not just any supply zone. So that is what it does. So as of now, you saw the list where we are getting close. Now we can also use this if I want to find the scripts which are currently trading inside a monthly demand zone or a weekly demand zone or a monthly supply area or a weekly supply area. So here you can see now it tells me MIT, which means monthly income trade, but we have a demand zone, and this month, the low of that month would be inside of that demand area. So if I go to BPCL and I change it back to monthly, you will see that this month the low was inside of this demand area, though it has been tested in the past. So at times it might be the very first test, at times it might not be the very first test, but we know on bigger time frames prices can hold for multiple tests. So that is the reason, even if it is tested multiple number of times, it will show us. Similarly, if I go to Berger Paint, right? So let's just again bring it back. So you can see Berger Paint definitely came this month inside of it. Now, what you can do is now, just as an example, you already know that Berger Paint has already started reacting from a monthly demand area. Maybe if you want to plan some now intraday trades, or you want to plan swing trades, you can look for some quality areas getting formed on the smaller time frame. Then you can try to participate in it, right? So it can also help you this way. Similarly, if I go to the next one, again, we will be inside of a monthly demand zone this month. Can you see this month we came into that zone pretty deep, and now we have already started moving up from here. So that's your scripts where prices this month have been into the monthly demand area. Similarly, if I want to find as a monthly income trader scripts where this month prices has been into the monthly supply zone, so you can see we only have three. One is this MCX. So if I again bring this back, you can see on MCX, we are just testing that monthly supply. We just got into this monthly supply probably a few days ago. Similarly, if I go to the next one, which is this one, here also you will see that we tested this supply, though it has been tested once in the past, but this month also we came into it, and now we have started getting some reactions. Similarly, if I want to find, scripts where I have been into weekly demand areas. So can you see weekly WIT demand zone, and we have been inside of it. So out of 200 stocks, only one stock, which is Muthoot Finance. So if I go to Muthoot Finance, you will see that we have a demand area. We did test it probably a few weeks ago, and this week we are again testing it. Similarly, if I want to find the daily, you can see also have my daily. So this is DIT supply zone inside, which means as a DIT trader, we will be inside the daily supply area. So if I go to daily, you can see we'll have some supply zones. So we have this supply zone, and we are currently inside of it. If I go to next one, we'll have some supply zone. And currently, you can see that we are trading inside of it. So this is how you'll get your list, right? And it's not just for the NSE. I mean, whatever market you are subscribed for, alerts for that particular market, you'll get your alerts. And this screener as well. So like I told you, we have for NSE. We have for MCX. Like on MCX, you can see we don't have anything other than lead. And lead is inside of weekly demand zone. And we have zinc, and zinc is inside of daily. It's getting close to, not inside, it's getting close to the daily demand area. Similarly, if I look at Forex, you can see that's your list of Forex. So now I know that if I want to find Forex pairs which are getting close to monthly demand zone, we don't even have a single one. But if I look for Forex pairs which are getting close to the weekly demand area, then we have one which is GBP versus Japanese yen, right? So this is how you can also get the list for Forex. So again, like I said, whichever alerts you are subscribed for. If you're subscribed for Forex, you'll get this list of Forex. If you are subscribed for MCX, you'll get for MCX. If you're subscribed for NSE, you'll get for NSE. But this is what this tool is all about. It is not now helping you identify based on the lower time frame. It is now helping you identify based on the higher time frame, where I'm getting closer to my bigger time frame or higher time frame demand areas and supply areas. All right, so I have a question, which is need for US stocks 25 will do possible. I have premium account with live US data, of course. And see, Nilanjan, this is what I was talking about, that eventually we want to launch it in a way where you can create your own custom list, which is not possible on TradingView as of today. But once we get that feature, so that is the reason, I was talking about almost at the starting of the session, that the way we wanted to launch it, uh, those features are not available. And since we don't have those features as of today, so this is the alternative we are providing you. But once we have those features where you can have your own custom list, that okay, these are the 25 stocks, or these are the only 50 stocks for which I want to know where I'm getting close to those demand areas and supply areas, then you will be able to do it. But when that feature will be launched by TradingView, we have no control over it. And the fact is, we have been requesting this feature to TradingView for almost over, I guess it's had been over 1.5 years. But that feature is still not available programmatically. But once it happens, then yes, you will be able to do it by yourself. You'll be able to create your own custom list where it will do the same thing for you. But as if now, it is not going to be possible. So yes, I know that even though if it is 25 stocks, it's not possible as of now, because like I just said, sometime back, it's a manual process we have to go through. But I'll also show you how it will eventually work for you, right? So let me also show that as an example to you people, that once we have that feature, this is how it is going to work for you. So just heads up, right, how it is going to work eventually. So if I bring up, just give me a second, maybe I go for Forex. So I'm just showing you as an example how it is going to work eventually for you. So here you'll be able to see that on the top, I have daily, weekly, and monthly. And at the bottom also, I have daily, weekly, and monthly. And now you can see on the chart itself, it is telling me that if I'm looking at daily, these are the scripts which are getting close to the daily demand areas. These are the scripts which are getting close to the daily supply areas. If I'm talking about weekly, GBP versus Japanese yen, that is the only script which is getting close to the daily demand zone. And Canadian dollar versus Japanese yen is getting closer to the, weekly, getting closer to the weekly supply area. So what is going to happen is, then on your chart itself, it will give you the list. So on the top, you can see these are the ones where we are getting close to the demand zones or the supply zones. And this bottom one is telling you where we are inside of those demand areas and supply areas. Now, this list, like I told you, as if now you cannot customize. So that is the reason we are not able to launch it publicly in a way where you can have your own custom list. Once you're able to customize, then what will happen is you'll take a watch list, you'll create that watch list. And based on that watch list, it will automatically tell you now that watch list can be 10 scripts, that watch list can be 20 scripts. We'll see what that limitation would be eventually. But then you can create your own list and it will do the same thing for you. Right? So that is how it is. Perfect. So are you using arrays and tables right here on the chart? Are you showing? So let's not get into the programming part of it, how we are doing it, right? So it's let's not get into it. But yes, eventually, the only reason I wanted to show you this is that yes, eventually we want to give you that feature that you're not restricted to the list which we are providing you. You can have your own custom list. But how long it will take for that feature to be incorporated into TradingView, we have no control over it. And once we have that control over it, then we can do it. Can I also use low probability zones? Okay, so that's an interesting question, Anand. Let me also show you something on that part as well. So just give me a minute. Perfect. So yes, so eventually, once you have that feature available to you, you will also be able to customize what kind of zones you want. Now, example here, you can see on the monthly, currently it is not showing me anything. Why? Because my settings are that I only want number of candles in the basing to be 3, and I only want explosive moves. If I say I don't want explosive moves, even if it is a good move I want, now you can see it is giving me a bigger list. So yes, eventually when you have this as an indicator to you, you will be able to customize how many candles you want in the basing. So if I say, okay, I only want zones with 1 candle in the basing, can you see now it is only giving me 2. If I say I want up to 6, now it will give me probably even a bigger list. If I say I want up to 3, but I want only the explosive moves, now I don't even have 1. So yes, once you people have this indicator launched as an indicator publicly, then yes, you will be able to customize it. You will also be able to customize, what my proximity should be. Like I was telling you that for monthly, we are using proximity of 5%. That is why it is 0.05. So if I increase it to 10%, now it might start giving me more number of scripts, right? So there might be some scripts which might be within 10% proximity. You can see as of now, we don't have anything within 10%. So let's say if I push it up to 20%, just as an example, nothing even in 20%, right? So let's push it 30. Uh, Nothing in this list, right? So yes, you will be able to customize this as well. What should be your proximity, how many candles you want in the basing, what kind of strength you want. Yes, you will be able to customize it eventually once this is launched, the way I'm showing you as of now. But since this cannot be launched this way as of today, the only alternative for us was to provide you that list. And that is why that list will only get updated once in a week. Because anyhow, for weekly monthlies, probably nothing will change. On dailies, yes, it can be some rare case scenario. And again, coming back to which all scripts it will be looking into. So if you want to have a list of that, just give me a second. All right, so you people know that when you come to surjitkakkar.com/alerts, this is where we have the link to the FAQ page. And on this FAQ page, we have given you the list, right? Like your NSE, these are the 200 scripts it is analyzing. So the screener will also be working on these 200 scripts. Similarly, for MCX, we have this list. So the screener is also working on this list. And similarly, if you talk about your Forex pairs, these are the Forex pairs, and the screener is also looking at these Forex pairs. So that is where you'll get to know what list it is actually looking into when it is identifying those stocks which are getting closer to the demand and supply areas. Right. So that is what the session was all about. Like I said at the starting, it is a very powerful tool. I have been using it for almost 2 months and amazing results. That is why I didn't want it to delay it further, because I knew that if I'm waiting for those features to be incorporated, it might take maybe 6 months or maybe over a year. So I wanted you people to have access as soon as possible. All right, now let me see what we have in the Q&A tab. All right, perfect. And so can we get separate Telegram channel which gives alerts for scripts which is arriving to the zone? That is not going to be possible. We will only be updating it on, the way I showed you, because that is an easier way for us versus putting it on Telegram. We'll think about it if we have to eventually, but I think this is a better way. All you need to do is just copy that list and you create a watch list. And can you see now it is, in a very systematic way also laid out for you. You just have to, click and that, looking at a weekly income. So I can go to the weekly chart and it will be close to some demand area. We're getting close to demand area. So I guess it's a much easier way, but we'll think over it. If we have to provide it as alerts, we might, but I think this is still going to be a much better way to approach to go about. Or it can one subscribe only through the screener. No, that is not possible, because like I told you, screener is complimentary, right? So it's not as a paid feature as of now. But yes, eventually when we launch it the way we want to, then yes, then it you will have the option as a standalone, because I know some people might not want alerts. Some people just might want a screener. So that is the time where we will give you that option. If you just want it as standalone, it can be standalone. But currently we have clubbed it as a complimentary feature along with the alert subscription. Or I have subscribed for the indicator base plan to get the screener. What should I do? So again, if you already have an active subscription, okay, you have just subscribed for the indicator, not the alerts. So see, the first thing is if you had alerts, then by default you have access. In fact, let me also add this. Those of you who have a active current alert subscription, again talking about alerts, let me also add something very important here. See, when you go for the alert subscription, that is where you will see two options. One is just the alerts, the other one is alerts for POS/POS plus members. So always ensure that when you are subscribing, you being a member, you should be subscribing for POS or POS plus, so that you get these benefits, right? If you're just going for the alerts, you will not get these benefits. And the second, you should be logged into your account. Only then our system will be able to understand that you're already a POS or a POS plus member. So if you're not logged in, you will not be able to subscribe. So the first thing is you'll have to log in and then subscribe. Now, coming back to, like you said, you already have the base plan of the demand and supply zone indicator. Now, there are two things to it. If your subscription is almost about to expire, whenever it gets expired, next time you can subscribe for alerts, because with alerts, by default, you'll get the indicator. Plus, you will also get the screener as well. Second, if you've just recently subscribed, let's say maybe a day or two, then you can send an email to info@surjitkakkar.com, mentioning that it's just been few days and you have subscribed for the indicator, you want to upgrade to alerts. So what we'll do is we'll send you a coupon code wherein the amount you have already paid for the indicator, that will be adjusted by using that coupon code, and you can upgrade to alerts, right? So that could be the alternative for you. महीने में एक बार तो मीटिंग किया कीजिए जो हमें बूस्टर का काम करेगा. See again, Bhavarlal, I'm already doing that. You're saying once in a month, I'm already doing 4 sessions. The Q&A, the YouTube sessions, right? Where again, it's a live session, and you can see that live session is also interactive. The chat is already active on it. So that is also where you can join in. So we already have 4 sessions in a month, which is the weekly analysis session. All right, so I have subscribed for the demand and supplies indicator. I will get any discount for screener alert. See, like I already said, if you talk about the pricing, we have already put the discount into the subscription. Example, you will see we have 30 days, we have 60 days, and we have the annual. So 60 days by default, you get 16% discount on, sorry, my bad. On annual, you by default get 30% discount. Plus on top of that, like I already told you, here you get Q&A as well. And now you will also get screener. Here you will get screener. Plus in all three, you also get the demand and supply zone indicator. So we have added as many things as possible for our POS Plus members, but over and above it, there are no discounts. Whatever discounts are there, they are already applied to the subscription period. All right, so that brings us to the end of today's session, and I hope you people like this new feature which we have, or the new scanner we have. Basically, we call it as the screener. Very, very powerful. Probably if you use it for a while, you'll understand the actual power of it. How beautifully it helps you in identifying trades in a beautiful way, based on the higher time frame, and not just based on the lower time frame. All right, so that brings us to the end of today's session. Again, thank you so much for taking out time. I know Saturday nights, generally people, they like to go out. I really appreciate you people took out time to stay with me and understand what this is all about. I'll also be uploading the recording maybe to YouTube, so that people who could not join in, they can watch the recording. So again, thank you so much for joining in. Enjoy your evening. Take care. Good night. Bye-bye.